Today on Roscoe's News. Well, literally nothing. As you can see, poor Roscoe is absolutely worn out. Probably because, like a lot of you, I've been feeling a bit bored since the school has been closed. So poor Roscoe has been forced to go on some very, very long walks. And he is only really a baby. He's not quite one yet. So the poor little fella is going to sit today's one out because he's too tired. So unfortunately today you're stuck with just me instead of Roscoe. So I've been checking in on Seesaw and Right Reader as usual, and I've seen loads of great work. I've seen some great work there in English from Juliana and Victor, Alva, Tig, Seamus, Marianne, Sam, Patrick. That's both on Seesaw and Right Reader. Now on Right Reader there's also some English work that has no name on it. So I'd know who that belongs to. So you might go and check back through your Right Reader books, guys, and make sure you're putting your name on them. Because if your name isn't on it, I'd know who it belongs to. I've seen some great work in Irish from Casper, Patrick, Sam and Anna. Now, Anna, I wanted to mention to you in particular that the work you're doing there in Irish is fantastic because you're not just using the different names of shops and places, but you're also using what I was teaching this week about that verb to go, te, which is a weird one because it changes past, present to future. But Anna's doing loads of work there, like saying chuig me inye, teim gach and rocky me morach. So you're really, really following what I'm teaching there, Anna. So that's brilliant. The last thing I want to talk about that I have here is I've been seeing loads of interesting project work today. So Tig has sent me a cool project on James Connolly, who was best known as being one of the leaders of the 1916 Rising. I also got a marine animal project on a platypus from Casper. Platypi are very, very strange creatures. You'll have to look those up. Alva has been sending me in some research on seals, which I really enjoyed. Even though it gave me scary flashbacks to the time I was bitten by a seal. And the reason I have these here is because Anthony and Aaron both sent me projects about dolphins. And in Anthony's one, he mentioned how dolphins were depicted, so that means like there's pictures of them or writings about them in lots of cultures all around the world, but also lots of ancient cultures. And that's what I want to talk to you about, what I have here. Here, I have a replica. So these aren't real archaeological artifacts because those would be in a museum. But I have a replica here of an urn from the Palace of Knossos and a replica of a mosaic from the same place. Now, the Palace of Knossos was one of the most important sites in the Minoan culture. That may sound familiar to you because that word comes from the Minotaur, who was the scary bull-headed monster in Greek mythology. So the Minoans were they were kind of like another family of the ancient Greek civilization, but they were actually more advanced. They had better technology and they had better buildings, and the Palace of Knossos was a fantastic one. In fact, they were so advanced that some people believe that the Minoans are where the myth of Atlantis comes from, but we don't know for certain. So anyway, here's a depiction of dolphins from one of the urns in their palace, which was built around 2000 BC, which is about 4,000 years ago, and was occupied for about 1,000 years before it was abandoned. Now, but then, like lots of sites in archaeology and in history, just because something is abandoned by one people doesn't mean it stays abandoned forever. So this is also from Knossos, which we would consider Greek civilization, but this is actually Roman. And this, again, it's just a plaster cast. It's obviously not the real thing. But the Romans came along to Knossos maybe about 500 years after it was abandoned, about 500 BC. And this is a mural of Eros, who is a Roman god, riding on dolphins from a structure in Knossos that's called the Dolphin House. But then, like I said, not built by the people who built Knossos, something the Romans came along and added later. So that's just a little bit about Knossos and the Minoans for you. Feel free, if you have some extra time, to go and look them up, or look up Atlantis myths, or look up dolphins in other cultures, whatever you feel like doing. So that's all from me from today. I'll chat to you again tomorrow.